It's very intimidating, but we can't hear you if you don't have it up.
Right. Does it go this way?
You can do it any way you want, but you have to pull it close.
I can't see you.
That's
okay.
good.
I'm Ray Kapitka, and I live here in Roseburg. And I'm here today to present to you, basically a fraud that's being committed against the people of Douglas County. And we have an evidence book that we want entered into the record today. And Loma, Dennis, if you would pass those out to the respective parties.
Thanks.
So we're here to inform each of you, the commissioners, also County Auditor Caleb Franklin, Recorder Barbara Nielsen, Sheriff Chris Brown, and is Chris here today? In the back? We need to get one to Chris too. And District Attorney Jack Banta, under the law as required due to the misprision of felony law, and that is USC Title 18, Section 4, and I'll leave that up to you to review. Once we found out about the fraud, we are obligated by law to report it. So this basically puts you on notice. It's important to know the difference between, let me just go ahead and get into it. First thing is that right now, the way that the county is filing notice of tax liens is illegal, and it causes a securities fraud to be committed. So as soon as a tax lien, a notice of federal tax lien is taken to our county recorder, the recorder stamps it, they put it into a lien index, they've committed securities fraud. Now, all of those liens or notice of federal tax liens that come in are unperfected, and this is the problem. Ignorance of the law is no excuse for the law. And if you'll take your book and you'll just turn the first page, on the right side, you'll see the requirements for a actual lien, okay? Starting with A, positive identification of the lien claimant, okay?
What page are you on? I'm sorry.
Just flip the first page and then on the right-hand side. Turn that page over and then the right-hand side.
That would be page 3.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah, it does say 3. It gets a little confusing, so I'll help you out. Sorry. Okay, so A, positive identification of the lien claimant. Number 1, photo of IRS lien claimant on file with the county. Fingerprint of IRS lien claimant on file with the county. Written proof of delegation of authority to lien claimant from Secretary of the Treasury of the United States. 4, proof of certification is required by ORS 87.811. Proper certification consists of an affidavit of obligation hand-signed by IRS lien claimant in front of the county notary and under penalty of perjury. True, correct, and complete, the same IRS requirement as on 1040 form. Full disclosure as required by the Uniform Commercial Code. If you'll turn the page, Section 6, any lien, if lawfully constructed, must contain a sworn affidavit assessment as part of the full disclosure requirement. Number 8, by changing the title from a notice to a lien, the county recorder has converted a non-negotiable, non-spendable paper into a negotiable, spendable ledger entry and is therefore, without full disclosure, counterfeited a currency for the IRS. That's where the fraud starts. All the IRS has to do is to ask the county recorder for a certified copy of the tax lien index to prove that a lien has been filed. The certified copy of the lien index has the same power in commerce as a Federal Reserve note, or as most of us call money, because it can be used as money to procure, seize, and sell property for the county inhabitants to the IRS. Now, this is where the sheriff implicates himself in the fraud. Okay? At that point, everybody becomes not only liable as county employees and puts the county in jeopardy, but they also become personally liable. These are felony counts. This is nothing to take lightly. Okay? Now, if you'll turn to, and ignorance of the law is no excuse for the law. If you'll turn to Section 3, all your books should be tabbed. Okay? You'll see several letters here, and just kind of flip through. I'm going to take you through this quickly and then allow you guys to do your own due diligence. We've put the recorder on notice on several occasions. Okay? Numerous notices have been given to Barbara Nielsen with no, as far as we can tell, intelligent response. If you'll go over to the responses by Paul Meyer, just flip the page, you'll see a signature at the bottom. The first response is, please, the last paragraph, please don't sue Douglas County or the county clerk. Your issue really is with the Internal Revenue Service. Please take this matter up with them. We then knew at that point that there was a lot of ignorance in the county regarding this issue. So we started doing our own due diligence and wanted to see if you all were bonded. We received another notice back from Paul Meyer saying, so far as I know, the county commissioners are not bonded. ORS 204.005 states that you should be, but the ORS statutes are a bit ambiguous. And if you are not, that makes you also personally liable. So I just want to point that out. If you'll flip over to Section 8, you'll find that the Federal Tax Lien Registration Act is not clear. On the right page, it does not say how a notice is to be filed. And just because federal law comes down to us, if it is ambiguous, it is our responsibility to clarify it. The political pecking order, okay, is number 1, God, number 2, the people, number 3, your city, county, and state government, then your federal government. Just because the feds or the state hands something down does not make it right. It is up to us to do our due diligence, make sure that the law is clear and that it is not ambiguous. Otherwise, we're liable. Section 11 and 12. I want to point out something in particular. It's a case called Strickland versus General Building. It is well established that a lien is lost if the steps required to perfect it are not taken in the same manner and within the time prescribed by law. This is critical. These liens are not perfected. They are not liens. They are notices of. They are basically a bill stating, we think you owe this. They're not worth the paper they're written on. And if anything came into the circuit courts, anything outside of the IRS, it would not be accepted. And we all know this. So why, just because it's the IRS, are we allowing this to occur? They have no more power or authority than anybody else and should be treated no differently. Section 13. If you'll look at a copy from our recorder's office, you will find that another felony is being committed by the disclosure of a Social Security number. Also, you'll notice some highlighted stamps on here pointing out the frauds. Okay? If you continue to flip through this section, you'll see that there are several counts of this felony on file with our recorder. The Herbert Hart letter is a response from the IRS to Mr. Hart, who sent a letter to them asking them if there really was an actual, quote, perfected lien from the IRS. Their response, regarding your request for the actual lien document, there is no such document other than the notice of federal tax lien. By definition, a lien is not a document. It is a charge upon real or personal property for the satisfaction of some debt or duty ordinarily arising by operation of law. These are notices. They are not liens. The IRS has stated right here that they don't have them. And through our due diligence, we have yet to be able to get them to produce one. If you'll continue to flip over.
Let me ask just a clarifying
Yes.
question. Is there implication there that by filing this notice of lien, or this whatever that they're filing locally here, that then they don't have to have a lien because it just...
All the index, that's probably not.
I think that is
It's not the only issue. It's also the way that it's stamped. You do not want to make it a security. You do not want to make it a negotiable instrument. So that's the other thing that you need to look into. You can contact these other counties. Like I say, I'm not an attorney. I'm not going to give you the legal advice. You need to do your due diligence.
Recorded, aren't they, with a date?
And by the way, there's lots and lots of other counties. I just didn't hear
Are
the
there,
first one.
have you worked with any other counties in this state?
Well, we will be, absolutely. And we are currently working with 3 other counties.
If another county that we work with on other issues has been through this
Maybe
and
through
taken
NACO.
whatever action.
Not right now.
Not, King County is.
Everybody is bringing it up right now here in Oregon, and we are working closely with them.
All right.
And we do work
All right.
with them through NACO. Maybe we could,
Yeah, that's
that
what I
there's
was
letters
thinking.
from
Well,
Hawaii,
then-
from
It should be done
Washington.
across the state.
Yeah, from
Well, that's
California.
what I'm thinking, is that we belong to a Association of Oregon Counties who
Mm-hmm.
does have legal representation, and rather than have to go through this with every county.
Over
if
and
there is a
over and
fix,
over again.
Right.
We
that-
all might
that-
as well fix it at the same
that's-
time.
That's what we're
Yes.
suggesting. Well, we'll look at this and
I
appreciate
think
it.
the fundamental
very much.
issue, as I understand it, and the reason I told them they needed to deal with the IRS rather than a recorder's office, I think the fundamental concern is that individuals aren't subject to income taxation, and then I think it spins out from
Now, the
there.
fundamental concern is the
county's
fraud.
The county's only involvement is receiving the notices from the IRS and recording.
I didn't
And
hear
that constitutes the fraud, the way it's currently being filed, that
Well,
you're
Ray,
committing
we-
several felony offenses the way that it's occurring.
That's fine, right? We need to agree to disagree on that issue. But if the only issue that you're asking the clerk's office to consider now is changing the name of the index, that's
We're asking them to
Probably
change
deny.
whatever is necessary to not be committing a felony offense.
well, we probably will never agree about what constitutes.
That's
But
why we
step-
gave you the evidence book and request you to do the due diligence yourself.
But step one, and maybe an obvious fix to an underlying part of all of this, is to change some wording.
Correct.
And we can work, you
I'll
can
work with Bob
make some
on that.
contacts, and that would be maybe step one.
One thing I want to point out to you, too, is if a suit should be brought, there is, in the back of the book, there is information regarding the CAFR report, or the Certified Financials, comprehensive annual financial report. There are surpluses there. A lot of that money belongs to Douglas County and the other counties, and that could be a place that could protect the county against bankruptcy. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ray.
We're all here to answer
Yes.
your questions.
Well, we'll